of the play that changed or got reworked after having a scene on stage, or were there any major parts that deviated from the original script, or was it perfect from birth?
No. Like any new play,
yeah.
because it's a brand new play, there was considerably a lot of cuts happened. So a lot of scenes got trimmed. I read an earlier version of the script when we first auditioned, like in October, that didn't have certain scenes in it, like the whole wedding scene wasn't in the play before, and that was added in at a later time. So no, there was considerable amounts of changes.
So the wedding scene, was there a reason for it? Was it for relief some level, or what was the decision?
I think part of it was to really give you a sense of maybe to establish a little bit more between Soraya and Amir, this immense bond and love, but also I think it's a beautiful window into Afghan culture and what their culture is. Because, you know, we all have, you know, an idea about what a wedding takes place, but there's this, I want to say not so much different, but it is a lot more different than what a traditional Western wedding is. And so seeing that element, I think, gives you a little bit more flavor. It just colors, you know, the detail in the story again.
You bring up a good point about the Afghan culture. Was that a part that after you read the script and everything, you need to also learn more about in order to really understand the parts? Or do you think it was mainly the elements were universal, regardless of where you...
I'll speak for myself first, just because I think for me it was a slight bit easier because I'm Iranian, and both my parents are Iranian. I've been to Iran, and in fact, my grandmother had a lot of Afghan workers at her factory because they were refugees from once the Soviet Union invaded. So I spent the majority of my days working in that factory, even though I was very young. I was probably Amir's age, right around 12, that I spent my days working with these Afghan men and then eating dinner with them and their wives and their children. And like when I described the shack that Hassan and Ali lived, that's where they lived. They lived in a mud shack on the edge of my grandmother's garden, not 200 feet away from where the factory was. And it was literally a house made of mud and straw and kerosene lamps, and there was no electricity, so they had propane, you know, for their heating equipment and stuff like that. And there was 6 of them living in that house, but it was like they were just family. So I think, and the fact that they speak Farsi, I speak fluent Farsi, the accent is different, but many of the cultural things were quite similar. So I think that was a little bit easier for me. We did have a cultural consultant, Homaira, who was absolutely wonderful, and she introduced us to a lot of elements of the Afghan community here in the San Jose area.
Well, and I was coming from a background where I really had no idea, like, going into this. Like, I had no personal experience with Afghan culture at all. And and all of the resources were incredibly helpful, but having Homaira take us out and go kite flying and go around Little Kabul, and we actually got to see the what's it called, the Crystal Palace, or like that's an actual hall where they do Afghan weddings, and it was just a fantastic experience, and going to eat naan and it's just like, and then when we went kite fighting, and you know, actually getting your fingers cut by the string, and like, it was great. It was fantastic. I was so proud of the cut. I got cut immediately, like, as soon as I went up, like, I lost. But I was so proud of the cut on my finger for so long, and it really, like, that was sort of the symbol of like, okay, like, this is something that I'm gonna be doing. Okay, great. Like, and it was fantastic getting that experience. Homaira was invaluable for this.
So did you get cut as well, or do you sort of...
Oh no, I just kept my role as Hassan of this spool, because I was like... I
just have to hold the spool. That's all I do in the play, so that's...
Yeah, I didn't want to get cut. It was actually crazy, because I didn't want to get cut, because I saw Craig get cut. And I was like, I'm going to be putting my...
You were so not like Hassan. Hassan would have been
I know.
sucking on his finger.
Yeah, and then so I was just holding it... I was trying to do it like this, and then it actually just cut through. That's how sharp the string is. It's crazy. It just cuts through your clothes too. And I know there's people that actually bandaged their fingers, and they still got cut. It's pretty intense, and I think that's how we were able to bring what we learned in the kite flying scene or in the kite fighting at Garen Park onto the stage, because it changed how we thought how you were supposed to hold the string, how you were supposed to hold the spool.
The concepts of how you control the kite as it's moving, and so you really have something solid to picture when we're doing this purely imagination scene. And but it was great getting to go do that, because I know exactly where the kite is and exactly what it takes to, well, not that I could actually do it, but exactly what it feels like to be trying to control a kite.
Yeah, those scenes were incredible on stage, just to get the picture of the fights and everything else. I was talking to actually Michelle earlier, and it's sort of interesting coming into a play and just seeing it. You see it all laid in front of you. To remember that she said that you've been working on this play for 15 months at least, if not more. Besides being up on stage, what's a typical day like for you in terms of, are you guys still doing rehearsals? Are you still practicing all the lines? You said you still think about the play even every day, and so what's involved in being an actor for this play?
I mean, once we're open, you're saying?
Yes.
Well, we don't have formal rehearsals anymore or anything like that, so I think that's a benefit to a certain extent, just because it takes, for me, it takes so much energy to go through one performance, much less when we have two in a day. But I'm very lucky because I live, being an out-of-town actor, I live with another actor, the Gregor Pozlowski, who's playing Rahim Khan. And Gregor and I, as soon as the play comes down, we're still talking about it. We're talking about scenes. We're talking about, did this moment, how to clarify this moment. When we get home, the two of the other actors that are out of town live below us. They come up, and basically as soon as they come up, we talk about the show and how it went and what was working that night, what wasn't working that night. Some cue pickup, all the little technical elements, the stuff that is probably not visible to the naked eye, but it really can never be perfect. And the wonderful thing, it's different every night, because the most important element is the audience, and they're different every night. So that experience that we have is just universal with that one audience every single night. And the next night, we get to do it over again with a different audience. They're the last character in this play.
Speaking of the audience, what was it like having the author in the audience? Did he see the play ahead of time, beforehand, and or was this his first night seeing it?
Well, the opening night was actually, having him there was fantastic. The first time he came to a rehearsal, I think we were doing a run through of Act 1, or maybe a run through of the whole show, but yeah. And that was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But having him on opening night was fantastic. And it was like, again, for me, it was a moment of like, all right, let me show you what we've done. You've written this incredible story, and we've worked so hard on it. So I was so proud of myself and so proud of everybody else, and I'm so proud of this production, and I was really ready for him to see it.
He has a very good poker face, but during after opening, he seemed pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, see, the audience was really happy too, and you guys are extended for a couple more days. I think 5 or something.
A week, yeah.
A week, back, one after
Come
the
get
other.
tickets. Come see us. Tell all your friends.
Well, congratulations, a wonderful play, and I think that this whole city of San Jose is proud to have it here as the world premiere. So thank you for
having us. Absolutely.